Welcome to Coach SG and Friends, where we discuss topics that help you have a better relationship with yourself and others. I am Coach SG, otherwise known as your joyful friend. I'm a relationship coach and life mentor, an entrepreneur and speaker. I'm based out of Los Angeles, but originally from Brooklyn, New York. I love great music, deep conversations, and inspiring people to live their best emotional lives and create their most amazing love story. Let me introduce you to my two friends, Janessa Rose and Lisa Miranda. Janessa is the CEO of Motivational Monsters, a nonprofit that helps people activate mental health and emotional well-being through creative arts. She is the author of How to Stop Being an Effing Bum. BUM stands for Broken Urban Mentality. She's been dubbed the Tony Robbins / Cardi B of motivational speakers, and she calls herself the Galactic Goddess. Lisa Miranda is an actor and creative director. She's also dabbling in producing. She is based in Miami, New York, and Paris. She is a world traveler who speaks several languages, who loves life, good people, and good conversation. So we want to welcome you to our podcast. Let's get started. So I was telling Lisa, I don't know if we totally answered the question of addressing the obstacles that hinder our greatest love story. She was saying that she thinks it's us, it's us personally. We're the ones that's hindering our greatest love story. But what say you?
I am 110% agree with that. No one can keep you from doing anything. We are the creators of our own reality at all times. If we're creating things that are undesirable, it's because there's things that we're not working on within self or understanding. Because we're not built that way. The universal law is not set up for us to control outside energies out of this vessel. We can only control this. So I 100% agree with that. And before I got cut off, I was just trying to portray like the triggers, understanding your own triggers, because that's what becomes the obstacle. That's why I was saying fear for me was an obstacle, because it was like, am I going to hurt them? Are they going to hurt me? It's just the fear of unsurety, if that's even a word. But
we get it though. We get it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, if am I
like relationshiping?
Relationshiping is a thing to be mastered. It's a thing. If one's not no, one's not no. Relationshiping is serious business, serious business.
Well, you know what? I feel like relationships will affect everything in your life, right? So if relationships are hard, right? It's affecting your work, it's affecting parenting, it's affecting family, it's affecting a whole lot of things. But we don't get really skilled at it. And where do we go to get really skilled at relationships?
Here, you come to this podcast. You come right here, girls, boys, okay? You come right on here to Mama, and we'll take care of you. We got 3 different kinds here.
Right. Well, but what would you say that your best advice is? Because, I think even when Lisa said like kind of what like discussion topics is, everybody's in a different phase of relationships. Some people are single, some people are in a long-term relationship. Maybe it's boring or maybe it's toxic. Some people are what was the other thing? Maybe they're
getting out of a relationship.
Yeah, they're not sure what they should do. But if we're saying you got to know yourself and all that, it sounds like the long, hard way. But I mean, what kind of advice would you give to somebody? I mean, because I think what it is people, they don't necessarily want words. They want to know how. Like, how do I do this when I love this person? I don't want to be without them. I really want to make it work, but it's not working. What do I do?
That's a hard one, because sometimes the concept of loving someone comes with the shit you don't want to do. Like I think you shared about this too, Sherrel, before. Like, sometimes letting go is loving someone. If it's not working, you can, it's like, think about a waterfall of emotions, right? Water is known in the spiritual world as emotions. If you try to block a waterfall, or put your hands up as a dam to a rushing thing of water, you're going to get bombarded, and it's going to, you know what I mean? If you try to force something into a container that doesn't fit, it's going to break the container, or you'll break yourself against yourself. These things, you cannot force things. You have to allow things to flow. And sometimes what the things we don't want to do will help the evolution of the relationship. Sometimes if you're in a relationship with someone, and let's just hypothetically use this as an excuse, I mean, as an example, this person doesn't know what they want. They're in the transition stage of, I maybe want some separate time. And you're like, I love this person so much. I don't want this to happen. I don't want to let them go. But maybe if you give them that space and that area for them to figure it out, they'll figure out they feel better with you. But if you are constantly like, but you're cheating, or you start projecting your fears, or you don't love me anymore, it's something with me, I can't go to work, I'm not eating, my life is falling apart. You put that on them, that becomes too much. You know,
Right.
I've done all this. I'm not just judging people. Okay, I've been
We've all been through some things.
You know what I mean? And the hardest thing for us to understand is, am I really loving you when I'm trying to control the outcome? We can't. You can't. You're not in control of anything outside of your vessel. You have to allow the energy to transform. Sometimes the transformation is something beautiful. Sometimes it goes through. The butterfly dies before the caterpillar dies before it comes to butterfly. That chrysalis process it's important. It's a key. And if anyone tries to help that caterpillar, let me just help your cocoon open a little bit. You'll mess up the butterfly. Butterfly come out crooked.
So here's what I would say. I just, I'm always thinking in analogies, right?
Yeah.
I feel like relationships are like, you just mentioned that emotions like water, right? So it's like we have a boat, right? And we're both in this boat together, and we've got to get to this destination. We're on this water together, right? There's all kinds of outside things that are happening, but if your communication's not right, if you're not aligned, because it's alignment is different than communication, right? Because you met somebody where you're so in sync with them, you don't really have to say much. Like they even know from eye signals and all that. They just know. Like, you've ever been somewhere with somebody and you're like, yeah, we need to go, but you give them just kind of like an eye. They know. You don't have to do all this communication. And I think when you find people that you're aligned with, and you're in this boat together, and if one is trying to go in one direction and one's trying to go into another, like, you've got to decide. You're going to have a conversation about your goals and, what your vision is for your relationship. Because if you don't do that and you're not clear and you're not certain, we're just fighting about what's happening. Like, oh, it's raining now. And, this is, and we're fighting about all this outside stuff. But the truth is that we really have to figure out how we're aligned so we can get to the same destination, because usually we're in different places. Like when you were saying, if somebody needs more time, that may be wherever they are in their emotional journey. And if we take that personally, but we also got to think about our needs, right? So we got to ask more questions. We got to be curious. We can't just be, upset about everything. We have to go, well, what does this time look like for you? And why is this coming up for you now? And how can I help support you? But instead, we're like, well, I gave you a whole lot of time already. How much time do you need? Like, we just, it's not about the solution. It's about like all this friction. And we just got to remember, we're in this boat together, and we've got to get to a certain destination, and we're going to need different things. I don't need the same thing at 50 that I needed at 20. I definitely just don't. But we don't like reset our relationship every year. We just in the same routine of things.
Yeah, no, you're making like, you're literally like reiterating my early morning conversation.
Because I'm psychic.
Telling you feeling like it right now, because I'm like, woo, girl, we was just like, listen, we in the same boat. I could drop you off at where you trying to go. Because I ain't going that way. You need to know.
Yeah,
I need
go in the boat with her. Y'all look like you're going in the same direction.
No, it's true though, because I didn't recognize that the person that I've been chilling with needed to have a conversation. I've trained myself to be very like, I'm chilling, I'm good. I'm gonna verbalize what I need to verbalize when I need to verbalize it. And I didn't realize that they were having, a need to express something, and they did, and I was like, cool. And then I was like, but let's just be clear, that don't work for me. So where you trying to go? Where should I drop you?
So I have a question. Well, I already know the answer, but don't feel pressured to answer it. But so are you, where are you, I guess, Janessa, where are you in your relationship journey? Are you manifesting what you want? Are you in your love story? Like, where are you?
I've all right. First and foremost, I've 120% have already manifested this type of dynamic. It's to the point where I was reading one of my journals the other day, in 2019, and everything that I asked for in a connection with someone, because I was finally willing to allow myself to do this. It's exactly the type of person that I'm seeing. So I'm like, wow, I totally manifested him. Um, but I realized that I was okay at first with just like whatever, you know what I mean? No, no pressure, because I didn't know what I wanted fully. I just knew I wanted to have an adventure with someone and like go on this crazy little journey of like spunky shit, you know? And that was what was happening. But after a while, you become, my emotions started to expand. And I was like, a little scared of that because all my experiences, I've been hurt badly, really badly.
That's
Um,
that fear in the closet.
that's telling you, right? With his outfit, it came out like a clown. Like we having adventure time now. What you scared of now? You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right.
so that came up for me recent, and I had to battle the fear. Can I express my needs? You know what I mean? Like it shifted a little bit for me. I feel more now. Now this is more of an emotional investment than an adventure. Like whatever, cool. I might not want you to adventure with no one else now. I think you need to know that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have 20 adventures with 20 other people, but you can no longer adventure with me. I can
Mm.
no longer go on an adventure with you then. Because
See, I feel different about that, but okay.
what I'm saying? So like that's how I needed to disclose that. Like my energy that I'm investing, I believe I deserve equal reciprocation and energy back.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And if you can't, that's cool. You know what I mean? But not for me. I'm not going to continue investing. It won't be the same dynamics. And you need to know that. You need to become aware of that. And so I've definitely manifested it, but it's also now shifting, and I just want to stay in the same space of being true to me because I've gotten so excited and so like elated with what's going on that I don't want to like mistreat myself because I'm afraid to lose it. I am clear that if it's not this, I can manifest shit. I manifested this, so I will manifest me exactly what I'm ready for now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's where I am.
Lisa?
Sherrel, you said something interesting.
Ah,
You said, "Oh, I don't agree with that." When she was talking about the 20 boats, can you elaborate on that?
Good one, Lisa. Good one.
no, I think if I heard it correctly, I just feel like, well, I don't get people get upset with me, but I think that we date kind of like this whole like you gotta see me and only me and I don't date that way. I assume if I meet somebody who has a lot of value, just like I'm bringing a lot of value, there's going to be a lot of suitors around. So until we've established that we're aligned and we want to move forward, I don't care who you're hanging out with and spending time with because I know I'm a great catch. I know that I have a lot of value. So it actually helps me level up my game a little bit. It doesn't, I don't look at it as like, how dare you see someone else? I don't have that. I feel like once I've established with you that I think you're the one for me. I think, then we can have a conversation about commitment. But I find that I date different than other people, just the general public. I
No,
think women necessarily are like, no, if you're gonna date, you're gonna date only me, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily start that way either. Like same thing. I was telling the person like, yo, listen, like at the beginning, I'm like, look, like it's cool, whatever. You're dope. If I'm listen, I'm dope. I know who I am. I call myself the galactic goddess. I think
Yeah, the galactic.
you know, that's what I swear I named myself that for a long time now. And that's like outside of the people I date. But I know if I'm interested in you and I see your value, there's gotta be a ton of other women who see your value. And that's cool. But once we see men, they're away. You know what I mean? And it's like once you start expecting me to be this, that, and the third for you, and I'm sharing certain intimacies with you, then we need to have a conversation where I need to know because I'm investing different levels of energy. It's different. It's like I don't even know if that makes any sense, but it's like not that you can't date other people. You can do whatever you want. But I don't want to date someone who wants to date other people. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You just can no
But
longer
that's
do it with
that's
me.
what I'm saying. That's great. See, and this is why I think it's important that people know what their standards are, what their desires are, and because it provides a lot of clarity. So if I meet somebody who's like, yeah, if we are dating, I can only date you, that I would just be like, oh, okay, nice. It was nice meeting you. I mean, we could be friends,
Right.
but because I believe, right? I don't have to shut everything down because I met you. I gotta know if this is what it is, and that takes time. But if it's important for you that we're not being intimate, then okay, then let's not be intimate. Let's just get to know each other.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Right.
That was my main
So
thing.
then don't share your stuff with me then.
That's what it was. That's what it was for the beginning. I was like, yo, like, I don't know if I want to be intimate yet. I don't know if you should be spending the nights. I don't know. See, this is the thing. When you want to tap into that energy field and then also be like, yeah, but yeah, I spent 2 weeks at your house, but I'm over here with Jane and 2 weeks at her house. That doesn't work for me. So
But see,
I
I love that you're bringing this up because I think that has to be established though, because I would be the person that's there for the 2 weeks, kicking it, having a good time, and then I'm gone because be
really,
sure because huh?
wait, wow, she's so cute. No, no, people are like that. And I've
Because
been like that too in the past, but
but I'm saying you could be like that too, and it's like it's cool. But you put a different meaning on that, and there's where communication needs to happen, and you have to say like, if we're gonna do this thing, I got to know that you're shutting everything down. Then I'm gonna be like, okay, well then I'm gonna go,
see,
and
for
I'll
me,
come back, and then we can go do some other things. But
yeah, but this reminds me of what you're saying, like the alignment about things, right? So, like, for me, I wasn't dating at all or sleeping with anybody at all for almost a year. And I was just doing my own healing and going through my own stuff. And it was a lot of emotional debris that I was in, and I wasn't ready to date just yet. And then I wound up meeting this person. And I didn't even think that they wanted to date. Like they were just like, I thought they were just like a friend adventurer. And I was like, okay, likes to hike. I like hiking, cool shit. So so I'm like, whatever. But then he put the moves on me, and I'm like, and a part of me yearned for connection, and I was like, let's just take it slow. And he's a man, men want to like, and I'm pretty cute. They're probably like, I want to like, I'm trying to knock you down, shorty. Like, and then I was like, listen, you gotta chill, you gotta wait. It's more emotional for me. I gotta assess myself. Do I want to connect to you? Do I want this? Do I want it? At that point, it's up to the other person as well to be like, yo, listen, I'm just trying to beat shorty. It's not that crazy. You don't need to check your emotions. Cause then I'd have told him immediately, get the fuck out. We're not aligned. Cool. There's other bitches out there for that, but I ain't one of them. You know what I'm saying? I just got out of patterns like that. I just worked to get out of patterns like that. I'm not going to allow that because I'm yearning for connection. I could connect to myself easy, fast.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So
But I mean, I think what you just shared, right, is that so you have a different meaning about what that intimacy is, and he has a different meaning. And instead of being mad about he has a different meaning, You just decided this is what it means to me, and I need to align with somebody who means the same thing. I don't need to control your behavior or anything like that.
Yeah, but how do
Sorry,
you know, right?
we leaving Lisa out. Lisa, you
I'm
got
sorry, Lisa.
That's okay.
Okay,
I
so
already
Lisa. Oh wait,
I
maybe.
because me and the person I'm in a relationship with for the first couple years, we didn't have that conversation, and we were never like we didn't communicate that we were exclusive for whatever reason. So every time things felt like they were going well, and we're just kind of hanging out and it's not defined, and then I see some picture or a text message, I just went nuts all the time. I mean, like we'd have like a great couple of days, and then I'd see some beautiful human being, and I would flip out. And it took years for me to really learn who he was, because I made so much judgments on his lifestyle, what I perceived to be his lifestyle, because we never decided we were going to be exclusive, you know. And I thought I was trying to do all this work. I just remember one time we missed the flight, but we didn't know we were in a taxi. We're in London and we're going to the airport, and I'm just scrolling through his phone. But then you got that little I don't know. That
Wait,
devil
what is
side
that? What is that? Tell me who is that? I know that too.
you know damn well what you're gonna find things you don't like. And I kept scrolling, and then I either it was a message, something. I came across something that wasn't cool. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm like so spiritual now. I'm just gonna get out this taxi and go to the bathroom and breathe. And like we're missing our flight. He's fighting with a taxi driver, and I'm thinking I'm doing everyone a service by going to breathe and then come out and fight anyway. And I was just like, what, like a terrible, and I'm so glad that that's behind me. And I really believe that now for the rest of my life, I'll have those conversations about expectations and what I want, and communicate how I want to date, because I'd never done that. I just assumed that if someone wanted to date me and multiple people, but wanted to romance me, they wanted to hang out with me and do wonderful things that I thought, that I thought meant you want to be with just me. I need to make sure that we're on the same page, and that I'm not placing judgment on people for stuff that for life that they're living without before me, or during the time they know me. And I want to make sure that I'm getting to know the person and not just judging and being awful.
Yeah. I definitely I don't do the judging. I'm real cool. Like you can do what you want to do, and I want for you, especially if I've told you that I care about you, I genuinely mean that. So I want you to do what you want to do. I just cannot allow myself to do things or be a part of or give access to certain energy to anyone that's not reciprocating that to me. You know what I mean? That's important.
That's different. I guess what I was talking about is, so you meet somebody, right? Say, I'm not single now, so not me to get, but if I meet somebody,
I can't take you, Sherrel. You too much.
if I meet somebody, right, and I like them, why can't I just explore how much I like them if we're aligned before we get to this point of commitment?
Yeah, it's so nerve-wracking because as like I don't want the guy to think like I'm like a psycho, controlling hose beast. You know what I mean? Like the whole mind, I'll rip off all the heads. Like, no, it's not that. And like I said, I'm okay with you figuring it out. Live your life. But when you start to, if I'm telling you like, yo, listen, my energy shifting, and I'm making conscious effort to be considerate, and I'm opening up vulnerable places to you, and we're intimate, I'm sharing myself with you. I'm not sleeping or dating other people, not because I want you to do that. It's because that's the respect I have for myself. I don't want to give other people parts of me. I don't want to, minimize the energy that I'm sharing in you, and like squander it. That's just the type of person I am. And because I'm spiritual and I believe that.
And I won't take it personally.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but because I'm spiritual too, and I believe that connecting with somebody is important, like your deeper connection. And it also makes the sex better for me. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're like, I can't just sleep around. Like it doesn't make me feel, it doesn't work for me. For me, I need to have deep, meaningful connection with the person in order for it to be fireworks. You know what I'm saying? Like this just me.
Right. Well, that's why I said don't do it. But so I have the question. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So could you date someone knowing that they're dating other people, but you're not having any intimate thing with them? You're just learning if this is a good fit for you.
Yeah, I have done this. I have done
Okay,
this.
that's what I'm talking
No,
about.
definitely dated, but I won't be able to sleep with them. Like I'll be like, yo, let's until you're ready to figure out whether this is for you. Because this is what I was even telling the dude, like, yo, my commitment thing is not like, do I want to be committed or can't? My shit is more like, are you capable of what I'm capable of? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know me, I'm not responsible for you, you know? So if you see in other people and you want to hang out with me too, we could chill. I got friends that got a lot of homeboys who like would love to go crazy with me someday. But I'd be like, dude, you're this and you're that. And you know, we're cool. I like chilling and vibing with you, but I can't give you access to Janessa's sexy parts. I can't give you access to Janessa's romantic parts. Janessa's
But I love that. I love that, right? Because then the value goes up, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. And it helps them to see what kind of shit they like. I got boundaries. I got boundaries. And I'm glad that I have them because
I'm gonna be quiet around this section. I don't want to get myself in trouble. Because my feelings are different.
Anything anymore. None of us are gonna. I feel like I'm gonna get struck by lightning if I say anything.
Oh my god, you guys are making me feel horrible. Delete this whole segment.
I know.
You can just delete this whole
Here's what happened with me is that so I was with somebody or is dating somebody who was like you that felt like, well, I don't want all that energy around. And I was like, cool, I'ma still do me, right? But then I was like, as we continue to have more time together, I realized actually by doing me that they were the one for me. But I needed to have that time to explore. And I think that's what people sometimes don't allow. They put in all these like, well, this means this and this means that. And it doesn't always mean the same thing for everybody, especially in different stages. I was at a different place. So but I get what you're saying, and you don't want to have all those energies kind of mixed in. But I was able to say, yeah, I'm ready to make that commitment. But before that, I wanted to explore, and I think that's okay. I think people should be able to explore, and it doesn't have to be compared to anybody else's, because I think that's where the struggle sometimes in relationships is that we want people to think like us. I don't have the same thought process. Yeah. I don't see it the same way, but I understand what it means to you. And I think that's what it is in a relationship. You don't have to have the same beliefs around stuff all the time. It's better when you do, right? But it's really about respecting people's beliefs. So if that's your belief and I have a different belief, we have to figure out where we can be aligned, right? 100%. So so we don't want to tear anybody down for their beliefs. No, I'm just kidding.
I really don't, because a person's belief systems, and I wrote this in the book, once you have a belief system, right? It becomes like a part of you. It's like an appendage. For you to just cut off that belief system like that, like, oh, because somebody else doesn't believe in it, it hurts. So, it
does. But if we're thinking about just how mindset works, how the universal laws work, right? It's really about us changing our beliefs, right? Yeah. Because the beliefs that we have were given to us, they were conditioned, right? So they're conditioned by society. People say like certain things are bad and what's good, right? So when we take on those beliefs, but at some point we have to decide what's the belief that works for us, what's right for us, not necessarily what anybody else thinks. Yeah. And some beliefs we've been given and they still work for us, and that's fine. But we really have to know that those are our beliefs. But sometimes in order to have a different experience, we have to change our beliefs. So yeah, it's hard to recalibrate yourself to think something different. But if you want to attract something new, you have to have a different belief.
100%. But this is what I'm saying. Like, see, my old belief pattern was, I don't give a fuck what you think. This is what I feel. You need to feel it too. And you need to see it that way. And what I got to do to make you see it that way. But I've changed that belief system now where it's like, I have to still like honor the way I feel. And I've changed a lot of the things in the way I feel, but that has now become my new belief system. So my new belief system still gets embedded in me as reality, and it still desires to be like, this is important to me. Don't got to be important to you, but this is important to me, and this is the way I feel. And like, especially the way I've changed myself, because I'm telling you, I used to just manifest a lot of toxic shit back and forth. Toxic.
Well,
And
I don't even know if it's manifest. Well, I guess it's manifestation, but it's mirror, right? So
yeah,
you're an energetic match to that toxicity. So
yeah.
until you get that toxicity out, you're
Mhm.
still going to continue to be, an energetic match to it. But I
Yeah.
wanted to ask, Lisa, do you feel like you have new beliefs in your relationship that you didn't have before?
100%. Now I was actually just saying this morning that I've learned to like loosen up, to let things go, to not be so hard on relationships and people, because I think for me there was a tendency, the more I love someone, the higher the expectations, the more room for error and for hurt. And now I just want to be more relaxed about that. I want to just trust that it's going to work out. I want to trust that that people love me, that I'm going to be good no matter what, and not just be, and things are not so black and white. So I'm reevaluating a lot of my belief systems. What does it mean? I don't want to judge myself as right and wrong anymore. I want to be, well, what is that? How does that feel? What does that mean to me? And it's still hard because it's, you have all these teachings from your whole life, and then you have to, and then sitting down with it and being like, if I follow this ideal, then does that make me love myself less? And if it does, then I got to change that. And that's not easy because, maybe your friends and family or whatever subscribe to it. But I'm really in a place now where I want to learn more about, I want to take the idea of me being a bad person or a good person out of the equation and just, okay, how do I best honor myself and my relationships and let everything else go?
Right. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
The place to be. The
I
place.
also think that, or at least that I think I'm doing now in my relationship, is that I never want to get complacent. I feel like in my old relationship, I got really complacent. Not only did I get complacent, but I don't think I was emotionally independent. So, that's my focus now. Like I want to make sure I'm making myself happy. Nobody has to make me happy. I'm coming to the relationship already happy and emotionally independent, so that you're not responsible for anything that I'm feeling. I'm communicating what I need more regularly, and it's about it's about my needs and not about what you're doing to me. But more than anything, the goal for me is I just want to have this amazing love story. So in order for me to have that, and if that's the goal, then every day can't look like routine. It has to look like, oh, we're having breakfast. Not only are we having breakfast, but we're having it in the sun, and I'm about to get these chairs. I'm about to put some flowers up. Like it's in the details. So it can't be, oh, we're just having breakfast. Like we just gonna have the most amazing breakfast. And I think I wasn't doing that before. I was just kind of going with whatever, hoping it was gonna get lively, but it won't get lively from that place of routine.
Something silly that I've been doing for years, and I don't know where I got it from, but I've been doing with my boyfriend. Whenever he comes, I like jump up, I scream, act like it's a big deal. And at first, you just be like, "This is so stupid or weird, whatever." And now, and when one time I didn't do it, and he complained. It's like no love. I'm like that's a normal thing. And I'm like, actually, you know what? It makes someone feel special if you're jumping up and acting crazy.
Yeah.
See them, just different things to keep things from getting stale, and to keep things, to keep it feeling like it would feel if you were dating somebody new.
See, those are the strategies, right? So we gotta not, get into routines. We gotta stop, like, just we gotta date. We have to date forever, not just for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, because when we're first dating, right? We got our game face on, right? We bring the best of ourselves, and then we get kind of complacent, and we expect things from people instead of appreciating them. Saying please and thank you when they do little things for you. Like some people are like, yo, you want me to say thank you for things you have to do? Yeah, because we know appreciation makes things maximize. So
Yeah.
the more that we're appreciating the little things, that people just want to be appreciated, they want to be valued, they want to know that you hear them, You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's, I feel like those are the things that hinder your greatest love stories, when you're not in appreciation, when you're not working on yourself to make yourself happy first, not trying to make that person make you happy. And you're able to communicate your needs really well, because what we go right to is controlling behavior. And we just really have to understand what it is that we need, and not make them responsible for it, but include them on, like, in order for us to be in this boat together, this is what I need. And if you could supply that, great. And if you can't, I'm still going to love you, but I'm going to love you while you're in another boat, not in this boat.
And show up as a yacht. Don't show up as a little boat. Show up as a yacht that has a casino, a theater. Like, make yourself big and powerful, because you're a little flimsy boat. Oh, who the hell wants to chill in a little boat in the open sea?
Show as a yacht.
As a yacht, but make sure that the yacht has life vests, just in case you got to kick a motherfucker over.
Well, I say, even if you don't show up as a yacht, right? Show up with your, like, because I remember when I had my what was it? My Acura Integra. It wasn't the best car, wasn't a Beamer, wasn't a Mercedes, but I shined it up. I put some rims on it. I had a good sound system. I always kept it clean. So you got to keep working on yourself so you show up flashy.
You're always talking about cars. I knew you were going to get to this podcast without talking about cars. I don't drive. Janessa, do you have a car?
I don't drive. I'm a city girl.
I love to talk about cars. This is her favorite conversation.
She was telling me this yesterday. She's like, or Monday, she's like, you always make an analogy about a car. I never really realized it. Now it's a boat. But I think what you're saying is that we want to show up as our best selves. And I think we go to relationships expecting it to fix, those things that we need to work on. And then we become really needy, and we become like defensive and just not the happiest people. Yeah. And so when I wake up happy and I'm filling my own cup, like, when you're happy, you just have a great day. Nothing really bothers you as much. But if you're not waking up and meditating and filling your own cup and stuff, things, when I haven't eaten sometimes, I get hangry, I get frustrated, and things start to bug me, so I think it's the same. Like, we just got to make sure that we're putting ourselves in a good state before we're engaging with other people. Yeah. We got to really protect our energy. We got to worry about the energy that we're giving out, because it's a mirror reflection. So
I'm just going to say, and for the people that are single, make sure that you are really comfortable with who you are and happy with who you are, and sharing that, and not trying to change just to get into a relationship, not trying to be somebody else just because you think that's what someone wants, but just being able to fully be who you are, no matter what that means, in a way where you actually match, and it's not a surprise later on, when someone discovers, oh, you're not really into that, or, sometimes it doesn't work out if you try to be something that you're not from the, to impress. So just embodying who you are, and with all of the love that you can pour into yourself in that way, and you'll find the right match.
Yeah. It's so great to match with somebody when you're in your authenticity, and that you're not being somebody else, because that requires a lot of work too.
I went on a date one time. This is one quick story. The guy wore 2 humongous watches, and I said, and I'm just, after a couple minutes, I gotta ask this man, why is he wearing these fucking huge watches? He's like, oh yeah, because you're an actor. I'm like, what? Like, that isn't. Like, you think because of the job that I do that I want someone who's wearing 2 obnoxiously huge watches? And I was like, no. And this guy, like, he could have had really great things about his character, but him just trying to be somebody that he was not, because he thought that was going to be something that impressed me, that turned me off.
Oh my God. Like, I'm an actress, not a rapper.
And guess what? I don't have it on today, but I wear really big, obnoxious watches because I like them.
Have you ever worn 2, Sherrel? Have you ever went out with 2? No, he wore 2 watches. That's why it's funny. In
Girl,
one
that's something
I don't
else.
care.
That was
One
something else.
he wore and he just took up his whole arm. I'm like, why is this man doing this?
Oh my God. He wants you to know what time it was, girl.
I was like, nah.
But wait, he had him on the same arm?
Yes, one after the other.
You know which one was gonna impress you. He said, fuck it, I will hit both of them.
And I'm quirky, I'm eccentric. That's not me, you know? Like that's I mean, I'm saying if you do that because that's your style, oh great, like be you. Like that's so cool. But if you do that because you think that's gonna impress me, no.
Right.
Oh my God. So it would have been different had you been like, why are you wearing two watches? And he'd be like, I just, had some other excuse. But the fact that he was like,
I made them. I'm into making, hand making. This is my hobby or whatever. I sometimes wear 6. I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, oh, that's cool that you're like, that's you. Not, I think you're gonna like this. We gotta stop that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great way to wrap up this segment. Thank you, ladies. I think it's a great way to just talk about, I think, what's hindering our greatest love story is us, right? And really being connected with who we are, being our authentic self, taking care of ourselves so that we know, what it is that we want to attract, because we can attract what we want. It's our beliefs that make us think otherwise. And focusing on what your greatest love story is. If you don't know what that is, you can't move towards it. So I think getting really clear about what that feels like and being able to share that with your partner, I think is how you'll get aligned. So, and then show up as a yacht, right?
pull up.
And drive into your best love story in a really nice car.
My joyful friends, we have come to the end of this episode, Obstacles Hindering Your Greatest Love Story. This was episode 1, part 3, so don't forget to check out 1 and 2 if you missed it. We appreciate you listening and would love your feedback. So drop a comment below and don't forget to hit subscribe.